This subcommittee has come together on a bipartisan basis for the last 4 Congresses to pass a new WRDA bill, and with this hearing, we initiate the tradition again. Let me begin by asking unanimous consent that the chair be authorized to declare a recess at any time during today's hearing. Without objection, so ordered. I ask unanimous consent that members not on the subcommittee be permitted to sit on the subcommittees with the subcommittee today at today's hearing and ask questions, and without objection, so ordered. As a reminder, please keep your microphones muted unless speaking. Should I hear any inadvertent background noise, I will request that the member please mute their microphone. And finally, to insert a document to the record, please have your staff email it to documentsti@mail.house.gov. I am very pleased that our first hearing of the year is on the development of further legislation to benefit our nation's economy, its environment, and the well-being of communities in every one of our congressional districts. And today we begin the development of a new Water Resources Development Act for 2022, also known as WRDA. I am pleased we will start a hearing from the Biden administration and the Chief of the Army Corps of Engineers. The committee on a bipartisan basis has now completed work on 4 consecutive WRDAs since 2014. Proud accomplishment. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Today's hearing marks the beginning of our work on the 5th WRDA, consecutive WRDA. This committee has been successful in enacting a WRDA every 2 years because our members recognize how critical the core work is to meeting the unique water resource needs of our communities. Through biennial enactment of WRDA legislation, this committee has local, regional, and national needs through authorization of a new core project and studies, policies that benefit every corner of the nation. However, all of the projects and studies authorized in WRDA need appropriated funds for the communities to realize the full navigation, flood control, environmental benefits these projects provide. Last year, Congress approved and the President signed into the law the Bipartisan Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. This critical legislation provides $17.1 billion to the Corps to address backlog of vital construction and operation, as well as maintenance activities on projects throughout the nation. Additionally, the Jobs Act follows the Biden administration's fiscal year 2022 budget request, which I remind my colleagues was the largest single budget request for the Corps in history. I am pleased that the Biden administration recommended sufficient funds to complete a dam safety project at Whittier Narrows in my district, and trust and hope that the Corps will keep that in mind as it develops a spend plan for the funds from the Jobs Act. The combined funding for the Jobs Act and annual appropriations and emergency supplemental bills is historic by any definition. This will allow for a game-changing, once-in-a-generation investment in our critical water resources infrastructure. This critical funding will enable the Corps to carry out authorized projects across the country, which will finally help communities to address local flooding needs, will ensure sustainable and predictable water supply needs for arid regions, and help to restore our nation's environmental treasures. In addition, we have all seen the impact that the COVID-19 has had on our economy and supply chains. These investments will advance projects, especially dredging in our coastal ports and inland waterways that are so very critical to our economy. These projects will make it easier for American businesses to export their goods around the world and fuel our economy for the future. I am very pleased to have the top leadership of the Army Corps of Engineers before this committee today. Both Assistant Secretary Connor and Lieutenant General Spellman bring years of experience and knowledge in managing the nation's water resources needs. I welcome both of you here today and look forward to hearing from you on the priorities we should consider for the next WRDA, plans you have for story funding, including Jobs Act, and now updates on implementing policies from the previous WRDA, including one that I authored to review adding water supply to your 4 mission areas. The committee also thanks you for transmitting the annual report to Congress on future water resources development for 2021, or the 7001 report to us this past November. These statutorily required reports help us as we seek to authorize studies and projects in WARDA. And I hope that you will both commit today that the 2022 report will be submitted to Congress on time at the beginning of February of this year. That's just around the corner. And as I stated earlier, this is our first hearing on WARDA 22, and our subcommittee plans to hear additional perspectives in the weeks and months to follow. I strongly encourage every member and their staff to work with the local core districts to learn about projects in their communities. And I am fully committed to continuing our track record and completing another bipartisan WARDA. And I value and appreciate the cooperation of the ranking member and their staff. Now I'm pleased to yield to the ranking member of the subcommittee, Mr. Rosser, for any statement he may have.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate you holding this hearing